150 or better churches that are represented, and those churches number in size from some small to some quite large, that has given themselves over to hearing the things that are on your heart relative to the nature of the growth and the atmosphere of our city. You will probably came expecting to field some questions that are of a moral nature, and those issues are important, and no doubt they will be in some form brought up this morning. But we also wanted to turn our attention to ask you questions along the lines of what are your plans for our city, particularly with respect to economic growth. We know that the south side of the city is growing with the advent of Toyota, and now the prospect of A&M building a campus on the south side, that there's economic growth there. We've seen it in every quarter of the city, with the exception of the east side of the city. So what are your plans for economic growth that involve?
Side is very special to me. I have an Oldham soap work that probably will be on the east side. We will not ask for tax abatements. We have vultures coming here from all over, and the abatements are what they're looking for. When they were going to do the Sheridan abatement, I told Mayor Peake, no. We have a city employee that's worked 10 years and he's not making $6 an hour. Go to Cedar Park, to Williamson County, to Buttercup, and see what the developers give. The city parks, the sidewalks, and the bike trails. And this is what I want for our city. The developers are getting everything, honey. And they're giving your city council and the mayor money for campaigns to buy them out. Thank you.
Involves the east side.
That is a very good question. Regarding economic growth, well, first of all, let me explain how I got to this point. Oh, I see somebody waving his hand. Need something? Or, oh, okay. What happened is that regarding economic growth, one of the things that has come to the city of San Antonio is that we have become accustomed to giving abatements. So, since my area lacks sidewalks and things of that nature, I was compelled to create a neighborhood association through the help of the city of San Antonio. One of the things I came across was that there's never enough money. They do cost estimates and things of that nature. So I followed and I said, why is it that there's never enough money? Well, as I searched further, I found that there are a lot of abatements out there. Now, something that's occurring in my area is that someone asked for a sales tax abatement. But I asked myself, if these sales tax had gone to where they're supposed to, who would it serve? I did a search on the internet, and on the controller sales tax area, it says the monies would go to the Texas Education Agency, the Texas Workforce Commission, Health and Human Services Commission, Department of Family and Protective Services, Department of Aging and Disability Services, Department of Assisted Rehabilitative Services, Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs, and Department of State Health Services. Another thing is the property taxes. I asked myself, a lot of places are getting tax exempts for property taxes. Where do these monies go to? Well, if they did go where they're supposed to, they would go for, according to Bexar County, they would go to public schools, community health services, fire and police protection, streets, roads, flood control projects, and many other services. So now, I'm at a debate. We need to justify abatements because we have not really analyzed on how it affects the community in the long run. It's a trickle-down effect.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez. The question that was asked is, what about economic growth on the east side?
I am from the east side. We came to San Antonio during the war. And the east...
Yes, and thank you very much. Excellent question. You're going to find out that I'm a person that believes in leadership and pushing an agenda. I absolutely believe in investing in this community, in using any kind of incentive we can to invest in the east side, the underdeveloped side, and the parts of town, the south side and the west side. I believe strongly in community, the sense of community, human rights, education, human rights, education. These are themes that will recur again and again. These are American themes. I'm quite sure that the two little babies, Sabaya and Sebastian, that were found under the stairwell, did not receive human rights in America. What a tragedy. What a tragedy here in San Antonio. What leader will stand up and address this? Thank you.
Well, I'm dead set against all abatements, but if they're going to have them, they need to parcel them out equally. And that's not happening. So if we're going to have them, let's at least do it fairly. Thank you.
The number one priority of the campaign that I'll be leading for the city will be with the youth. I feel like that we've got to prepare our youth for the future. Right now, 47% of all Hispanics drop out before they graduate. I talked to the community colleges, 70% of all graduates, listen to this, 70% of all graduates before they can even start community college, junior college in our city, have to go through remedial training a year to 2 years before they can even start junior college. So I think really to get to the bottom of that, to get to the core of it, we've got to begin to think about creating a workforce with our youth. I'll get the 17 school districts together with our junior colleges. We'll get the same room together and we'll find out how to get on the same line together. And I believe we can begin to implement our junior colleges into our elementary schools to where we can begin to help kids think about technological school, help kids think about higher learning as we push this all the way through. So I feel like that if we don't take care of our youth in San Antonio, we're not going to have places like Toyota or these big, Microsoft want to come because the workforce will not be here, for them to be competent.
Thank you very much.